Hey there, everybody. It's Bobo the Vulture. It is Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. It's time for more running around. Now, last time I picked up because I like old Japanese sports cars from the 80s. And while this iteration of Toyota Supra, this is actually technically one from the 90s. It's certainly an 80s version of the car, sort of, you know? Yeah. The to be replaced by, the most eye-opening model. The 2.5 twin-turbo R delivers an exciting front-engine type of drive and should be comparatively easy to control. Comparatively to what? Anyways, 276? No. What's the deal here? Displacement 2491. So that is the 2.5. It's hard to tell which ones they're trying to say are which here. I believe that, yeah, we have the 2.5 twin-turbo R right here. I guess this one does not have exactly 276, it's 272. Actually, that I think is something that confused me when I was first trying to play this game. I thought the 3-liter single-turbo, because it had 276 horsepower, had the most potential. I think the twin-turbo model does, just because you can do a wilder state of tune with it. But we're not going to bother doing any of the engine tuning right now. We're just going to get cool suspension. Oh, I'm still in the MR2. The Harg. The Harg. Let's actually get into that Supra that I was fawning over. Let's do it. Get in. I mean, it's in my green, folks. I enjoy a good dark green. I enjoy a good 80s sports car. I would actually probably really enjoy this car if it was presented to me IRL in the Indy Racing League. I don't know, actually. It's difficult to say because you so often get cars that you build up in your... Well, I say you do. I do. I so often get cars that I build up in my mind and think, oh, that would be a fantastic car. And then I get to a dealership or a car show or something like that, and I sit inside of it, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't really fit my body. That's like, like, oh, the pedals are, sort of off to one side, or the steering wheel doesn't really angle in a way that I will find comfortable, and it doesn't tilt, or this darn sunroof. That's one that actually really bothers me a lot. Like, all the fancy cars out there have sunroofs. I really don't like sunroofs because I am about 6 feet tall, so maybe average male height in the United States and slightly above average the world over. And I sit, when I get into a car to drive it, I sit fairly upright. Not like, completely bolt straight like a chair, but like, a lot of people get in a car, they sort of lean the seat back and sort of, hang the elbow, and I don't do that. I sit up. I hold the wheel in my hands. I don't like lean forward and like peek out the car, but it's that whole Sinbad routine about how white people be driving the car and how black people be driving the car. But yeah, which means that more so than a lot of people, I guess, I put a real premium on good headroom. And a sunroof or moonroof they don't like build a different body shell for a car with a sunroof or a moonroof, but that glass panel's got to go somewhere when it's sliding around, which means they just sort of notch it out of the interior headroom. So you lose an inch or two of interior headroom. And I'm not about that. Not for one instant. Now, let's look at the racing modification. We're not going to do it right now. But it can be blue, which is nice. It can be gold, which is kind of frightening. But there you go. You can get it all nice and race modified, if that is your custom. Now, right now it has 272 horsepower. Was that right? Let's see what kinds of... Well, first of all, let's see. Is there a Super Challenge? I was pretty sure there wasn't, yeah. What kind of GT or pure sports car challenges can we get into with that level of horsepower? Well, we got all those done. I feel like... No, not historic cars, no. The Grand Touring Car Trophy. 394 horsepower. Oh, we can ramp up the car a little then, if we're planning on trying out that. What about in this pure sports car cup? What's going on here? So, what was it? 394 is about where these things tend to start. Alright. Let's see what we can get out of the car to begin with. 591 is probably about where they top out. Turbo kit. 364 horsepower right there. You can't get the stage 4. Well, that's a pity. $388. Okay. This is looking good. And, remembering, we want to, sort of top out around... Okay, yeah. If we do any more, modification in the muffler or anything, we're going to go over the limit that we're looking at. And obviously you can't NA-tune this thing. I just go over there anyways. Every time, just to double check. Okay, it seems like most of the, 397... 395. Okay, yeah. Nothing we could do now, or anything that we do now will put it over the horsepower limits that we're looking at for the Grand Touring Car Trophy or the Pure Sports Trophy. Let's try this out. Let's see what happens. We've slicked up this car pretty well. But, of course, a lot of the Japanese sports cars of the 80s. And, of course, there's another Supra up there, so I don't have to be too worried about, oh, did I bring a car that's technically not equipped for this kind of an event? I'm going to be doing this Red Rock Valley race that I know so well in slow motion. There we go. This race I know so well from making big money. And not hitting whammies, hopefully. This turn is much easier to get at low speeds. Even though that still wasn't a great turn. I didn't spin or cause my own death or anything. And other cars might start catching up here, but... go. I guess I'm in good practice in this track for sure. Also, the car seems... It's actually slightly short-geared for this track, but it's close enough. Gonna hit the rev limiter here a couple of times before the end of the straight. Maybe just because I'm used to driving such unstable, high-horsepower cars around this track, this car seems remarkably stable. Of course, it will seem considerably less stable if I ever do finish all the... Well, I actually probably won't, because I probably won't even get another 100 horsepower out of that, really. Maybe another 50. This is actually just a really... I was expecting crazy horsepower numbers out of this car, just because I thought I remembered from the past and from like implications that other people were making about, oh, I can't wait till you get one of those twin turbos, that this car was going to produce like crazy horsepower numbers. I mean, 400 horsepower, which this nearly has right now, is nothing to sneeze at. I don't mean it like that. But, little dark green twin turbo R. Dark green Supra twin turbo R. Yeah! That mess right there. It's gonna lead the way like a Hot Wheels. Like a Hot Wheels. Nice angles. All the right angles, baby. Players Club. Can get 10 grand in a new car. Yeah. Everything's coming up, Bobo. I like times like that. It's times like these to live again. Or it's times like these are something else. Alright, so I might be able to take this car and Tier 3 Red Rock, or... Oh, we already got the... Oh. That's almost kind of disappointing. Well, let's go to the... back to the house here and see what cool car we got. That is a cool car. That's a car we could go take to the GT Super 300 whatever thingy. The H. Sylvia. I believe that is the kind of car we are supposed to take and run in the... What is it? 300... Japan 300 GT Super Touring Trophy. Well, let's see. I'm going to take it to Trial Mountain. We'll see how it goes. It may actually be the kind of car also that you're supposed to run in that 5-race GT300 championship. But, let's check out its competition here. Because it's going to be up against other fancy touring cars. Oh, these are all Japanese touring cars as well. Alright, I'm remembering now I should have equipped the slicks. Go. That's a nice little car. It's a little jumpy, a little persnickety, but you can use that to your advantage. Trying to get around certain types of corners. Or you can bend the very fabric of space and time. Oh man, that little multicolored Civic is coming up here. Oh, we just bashed wheels like it was the Roman Colosseum. Sorry guys, I'm finding the car a little bit difficult to handle. I'll be with you as soon as I can. I apparently say "there we go" every time I reach that part of the track. Hi everybody! So this car does take some getting accustomed to. I am learning. Alright, let's try and see what we can do to catch up here. There we go. That little Civic hatchback, I'm surprised at it. This thing will spin at the drop of a hat. Literally, I'm not exactly sure what caused the car to spin right there. Okay, I know what caused the car to almost spin there, but still. I mean, at that point, you may as well just moonwalk across the line. It'd be a good car up to the challenge and all, just, that's a car that's often recommended as a good starting car for the game. It's interesting to see that it turns out to be such a good car for this late on, too. And of course, it has an awesome paint job. Super colorful starburst thing going on there. And I guess those are more Japanese touricari sort of cars. Hey, I'm touricari. Yep, I made that gag. I really did. It's okay, folks. Just because I say it is. There's no other reason that it's actually okay. So do be careful. That doesn't necessarily make it okay, folks. So I guess for that, then I'm supposed to take one of the cars that I have, like this Mugen Accord SIRT, and turn it into a proper touring machine. What that Fitz end up with, like 100 and some odd? Oh, almost 200 horsepower. There's the Cord Type R. That's exciting, right? Nighthawk Black Pearl. This is actually a Del Sol, right? Yeah, silly. Mugen Civic Type R. I'm just looking through my cars for no apparent reason. Alright. Dun, 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 dun. Suppose I could get into it and tune it up as much as possible, see whether or not I can enter it in any other fun races. I like the amount of money I put into it. I apparently could still sell it for about $2 grand in game terms. Did I get the racing muffler already? I did not. 417. Alright, 434, okay. $443, okay. So are there any 450 horsepower races that this car would be perfect for? Perfect. Perfect. Anything in the 80 Sports Car Cup? The Grand Touring Trophy? I could go rock Grand Valley with this thing, sure! Sounds like fun, really. Except for how Grand Valley doesn't always work out the best for me. Oh boy. Oop, boy. This ought to be alright. Wow, it's gotten even more frantic. Oh look, it's a big American muscle. Oh no, it's a Corvette. Did you guys hear there was a sinkhole that just opened up underneath the Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky? It sucked down a bunch of classic Corvettes. Well, and slightly less classic ones. I think it also swallowed up the 1.5 millionth Corvette, which was made sometime in the past couple of years. Hey, don't knock me into the wall like that. I'm plenty capable of doing that on my own. Alright. This is by no means going to be a cakewalk, but it seems possible. And again, this car is actually pretty well mannered. I say, going into the most important corner of the track and thinking, yeah, by saying that I will have cursed it. It's pleasant. It's got that right kind of 80s funky chunkiness to it, while still having the right proportions of a sports car. And it's a lovely dark green. Wow, and it's very, like, I was basically about to spin the car out there, but it was in a very slow and progressive manner that you could really catch. Oh, this car. Alright. We are continually staying one step ahead of the spoilers of this little matchup here. That being the entire rest of the pack. Any of you guys could come ruin my fun. I know it. I know it. There we go, managed to stay at a second that go around to the ULD hairpin. It's It's a great little car. I like it a lot. It's not going to be ultimately the fastest car with this kind of horsepower and this kind of, you know, level of cash put into it and everything. And in terms of outright horsepower, we're actually talking similar numbers with this than with that super crazy fast Sylvia. If I'm remembering right. And this has a little less, maybe? But, yeah, it's slower, but it's way more sane. And that's what I like about it. That's what I like about you. That's what I like about you. Ha! Hey, one out against a much newer Supra. The next generation of Supra along. It's kind of interesting to note. Oh, we can change the level of detail on the cars. That white Supra right there is just one redesign away from this funky chunky one we got right here. It was a dramatic leap forward in design for the model line. Basically, I think it was 93 or 94 they started doing the new well, quote-unquote new Supras. I guess they're the newest Supra they made. They stopped making the Supra after that go-around. We're not going to save the game because we're going to do... Well, I want to do one thing real quick here. I just want to make sure that we couldn't also then go and enter the Pure Sports Car Championship with this same car. Because we need to win this one too. I didn't even bother to check where it is. Is it Deep Forest? It's probably Deep Forest. And this one may be difficult. It may be that there are Elises in here that are like super tuned up and we aren't able to keep up with them. There's a Lancia Stratos. There's one of those Tommy Kyras. These cars may be out of our league. They are definitely super serial sports cars. Although, if you guys can be beaten by my Grand Touring car, what kind of pure sports cars are you, really? Basically, I'm trying to appeal to your egos. Yes, I screwed this up royally. There comes a Stratos to sting me in the tail and remind me. Don't worry, there's another Stratos coming too. Alright, so this is not the part I should be building up an advantage through, the like twisty, foresty, handly part. And yet there it is. Doesn't help that I lose it all there, too. Alright, that was a relatively swift and painless run through that corner, so I think I just got it. Nope. Beat out a couple of Stratoses. The RX-7 and the S2000, this is the thing. The line between pure sports car and GT car ends up being a little blurry in this game some places, I think. The RX-7, and it's kind of a competition for a Supra, and yet one here is considered a GT and one is considered... And yes, I do know that the RX-7 is a slightly more sort of elemental car, it's like more lightweight and stuff like that, but I mean, you're cross-shopping those cars if you have the money and you're thinking about a nice Japanese sports car. You're cross-shopping. Let's go to next so that we can look at the cars before we call it a video. And I'll just have to remember to save manually, because I believe that's going to do it for my individual play session here. So what have we learned, folks? We've learned that the twin-turbo R Supra in this game is a lovely little machine. A Mugen NSX GT, isn't that one of the... Yeah, this is supposed to be the kind of car that you're supposed to race in the big Japanese touring championship thingies. The ZZ3, is that the little two-door? Whoa, no, this is a whole thing that... Did it ever happen? In contrast to the pure sports racing image of the ZZ2, the ZZ3 offers a more familiar sort of concept that might be called pure sports light. Two-door sports GT car, keeping the times, it is true sports car, but it's also environmentally friendly. It can be used for motorsports, but in many ways it is a new kind of sports car for the 21st century, one that embodies new technology that was jointly developed with another automaker. Boasts a tough but lightweight steel and aluminum frame and mid-mounted high-performance gasoline engine of 1.6 to 2 liters displacement. There's choice 2 transmission types, 5-speed manual, or Hyper CVT, continuously variable transmission. Basically, it functions like an automatic, except there's no gear steps. You just put it into a drive, and it sort of the engine. Yeah. There's no step. It doesn't like accelerate the engine up. It just sort of like moves to a certain point. Anyways, the chassis features double wishbone suspension for both front and rear. I know I didn't explain what a CVT is very well, and I apologize. I know what it is, but it's, yeah, it's getting late. My mind doesn't have words. Double wishbone for both front and rear. Inboard push-rod type shocks and springs, ventilators, and brakes are installed on all four wheels. Target weight for this car was a mere 700 kilograms, making the ZZ3 one of the lightest of the type. Combine that with a powerful engine and an ideal chassis, and what you get is one of the lightest sports cars ever. The cost is also not very heavy, about 4 million yen at $36,000. Of course, the car is not only sporty but comfortable, complete with air conditioning and other expected amenities. No wonder ZZ fans are actually awaiting the arrival of the ZZ3. And now, folks, is the time I wonder, did it ever arrive? Is it a real thing, or was it a concept? Like so many things in this game. But anyhow, folks, that's all interesting and cool and interesting. But when we come back next time, Let me not forget to save the game. But when we come back next time, I'm just gonna go find some more races to enter. You know, I just like doing stuff like that. Anyhow, this is Bobo the Vulture. This is Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. I thank you guys very much for watching, and I'm sure that I will see you all another time. Bye-bye now.